Now we're live. What's up, Killer? 619. First coffee. Yeah, I've already had my coffee. 619. I've got my, I don't know if you got this shirt yet, Joey.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. We both got our Kevin shirts. We can
I
probably,
I do have that one, but I'm saving it. It's
we
gonna
can
pop out a little later.
skip to the end here. So we got the token as HNT and we got the make something every day. So if you want those shirts, I think at least the link to one of them is down on the bottom, but we should probably start at the beginning. And let's see if I can undo those. Top of the hops here. Let's see. Onocoy. God, I don't even have my notes ready. But it did used to take like 10 minutes to go through all this shit, and now it's like 1 or 3. All right. Onocoy's having a discussion on miner costs. So if you're on X and want to weigh in on how much you think a miner should cost, they're doing that. They got a nice review of the tokenomics on X. I put a link in the description. Max wrote a lot of that stuff, so I'm very pleased with that. Obviously biased Onocoy as a client. And geez, I got to set up my little system here. What's up, Jay? What's up, Derek? Anyone just released their August kind of report. They're doing a Spaces tomorrow on X with ARIO Network. So if you want to go check out what they're doing and see what's up there, you can. But they've been working on staking, security, apps, all kinds of stuff. They're super hard workers and they're putting out a ton of stuff. Helium has, Jesus, they might be outworking everyone. They did a live, you did a live yesterday.
Did you catch
With,
it?
no, no, dude,
Ah,
I
there were
spent,
two.
we'll talk about what I did yesterday, but
There were like 2,000 people on there. It was cool.
yeah, 24, 28, 2489 or something. It was pretty good. It was a lot. They talked about the barbershop model. I talked about the fucking salon model 3 weeks ago. So someone's copying me. No, they're not. Everybody has the same good ideas, but I thought that was funny. And then I see there's a ton of airport rollouts. So that's pretty cool to see in Helium Mobile Land. It is taking that super seriously. Yeah, Joey is outworking everyone, George. Let's see. In Hivemapper land, they announced that the B coverage is up 12% week on week, and a B is earning twice as much as an HTC, which I thought was pretty cool. Let's see. DABA, I didn't see any news on. DIMO is talking about this thing, and I think they're kind of tongue in cheek, but they saying, hey, they're going to continue announcing themselves as what is it, an AI orchestrated commerce until people pay attention to that. I think they could do better on the marketing on that, but they're not paying me for it. So they can just keep talking about AI orchestrated commerce. What it actually means is that your car tells you what's good for you and your car. So should you sell it? Should you buy it? Should you get insurance? What insurance should you get? All that stuff. But they can figure out the messaging on that on their own. That's fine with me. Let's see. Wingbits land. If you haven't added your wallet to your Wingbits account, do that. I think I added mine sometime last week. And they also talked about Brazil going from 255 to 451 coverage hexes in 6 months. So just kind of standard DePIN thing. When you get the incentives right, coverage grows super fast. I would say they don't have the incentives totally right, but it's also not quite the right time. So there's got a lot of things that have to align in order for DePIN incentives to work well. And I don't think we're at kind of maximum alignment yet, which is really going to be, bubbly, batshit crazy over alignment. In Spexiland, they opened up some Spexigons in Las Vegas. So if you're heading up there for the commercial UAV Expo, or you're just going to Vegas to lose money, you might as well take your drone and make a little bit of Spexi box. Let's see, WeatherXM. So they're doing WIP 002, and that is reward boost for targeted rollouts. We didn't have anything to do with that. So I have the biased assumption that anything that we don't do is probably not as good as something we did do or we could do. But that's just me being biased and believing that Max is smarter than everyone else, which I think is true. But I could be wrong. There's lots of smart people in the world. But I've always been impressed with Max. Okay, I don't think I have anything for paleo treats, so I'll just put up this shirt thing. So we got our shirts on. That's the same shirt that's here. Yeah, holla. And then in fucking a paleo treats thing. But in paleo treats land, I've been working on this computer vision thing that has been super, super exciting.
I
I
saw
got
this on
Monstra
Twitter.
singing to do it, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then Flywheel Systems down at the bottom. There's a link to buy these shirts if you want them. You got a t-shirt. Pretty obviously, this is a cut tank top. This is a Gristle King special. But yeah, I think
I
that's the news. What are we at, Joey? Fuck, 422, under 5 minutes.
It's
Crush.
perfect. I was wearing this the other day, and a guy stopped me on the street. He's like, "I like your shirt." I was like, "Thank
I
you."
do get stopped for that shirt, like almost as much as I get stopped for Gristle King shirts, which is funny to
Pe-
me. People just think the Gristle King thing is a funny name. They have no idea what it is.
Right. That little raccoon guy gets people all the time.
Yeah. Remember that dude that honked at you in Austin or something?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. Grizzle King, I love that guy. I was like, he just yelled at me from a car.
Hey, Joey. Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Let's see. Oh, Mighty Buddha said that DABA hotspot onboarding has been announced starting the 8th of September. I missed that. I looked at their Twitter, but I didn't see anything. So my bad for not doing the DABA stuff. Uh, let's see. Oh, wow. There's a DIMO ad on KFI AM 640. Nice.
Hmm, neat.
Moving into AM land. That's very cool. I just saw a cool thing on FM versus AM. The guy who invented FM apparently died penniless because there's a giant company trying to crush him. And then it
Classic.
ends up 40 years later that FM is actually better than AM for general sound quality. So
Yeah. Hmm.
there's that. Wingbits needs bigger hexes. Okay. 500 stations in Southern California, but there's a lot of planes in Southern California. And then, the news of me being in the news. Yeah, I was on the news. The local TV station, Fox 5, came down, my buddy Heather Lake, and did a piece on the treasure hunt, which I probably should have asked Kevin to do a little background thing on for Paleo Treats, but there it is.
I just turned on
Joey, what's going on in your
focus
world, dude?
mode. I was getting blown up by everybody all at once, so I'm in now.
Okay. What were they? Was it something special? Is something launching? Is there something
It's
we should
just
know?
it's just the morning. It's standard busy stuff.
Okay. I
Um,
haven't seen you in a couple weeks. What's up,
yeah.
dog?
Yeah, you're out. We had community call. God, what have we done in the past 2 weeks?
The
We shipped
last,
updates to World, right?
okay.
That's new.
Badass. What were the updates? I haven't seen them.
Uh, Largely, it's the same platform on the like map and discovery side of things. We rework some navigation and stuff. The landing page is different. Uh, Most notably, the reason we did all of that rework is we completely are overhauling, I should say, the back end of it so that we can ETL in all this other data. Um, this is in a step. Well, we also launched wallet views, which is a sort of big step in the direction ultimately that we're going to end up going with this platform. So you can go in, plug your wallet in, you'll see all your mobile hotspots, you'll see all your IoT hotspots, you'll see stats on the mobile hotspots, you get them on a map, stuff like that. You can see all your token balances. So we're starting to like bring a bunch of those experiences into the web. Ultimately, what this is going to become is a way to just to log in to Helium right on the web. So not dependent on a wallet in your app. Like you can do this stuff anywhere. You can do it from a web app. You can do it from your browser. Um, Hopefully make it a little easier for folks to onboard. Obviously, or maybe you're catching on to this, I guess, but a little bit of a throwback to that welcome pack conversation we had a little while back where
Yep.
you get somebody onboarded, you get in there, you see your stuff, you off ramp your tokens, like whatever it is you want to do, right? So starting to ship pieces of this narrative as we get closer to that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Last time we talked about the welcome pack, it was still super new. I don't think it had
Hmm.
been released widely. Has it been released totally yet, or is that never going to get released as it stands right now?
As it stands right now, I don't want to see it out in the light of day because
That makes
it's
two of
not
us.
pretty.
Okay.
Right. But it has proved its use case.
Cool.
I think that part was what we were looking for. We want to understand the behavioral impacts and like how are people thinking about this stuff. So it probably won't be called a welcome pack. It'll be just a part of onboarding a hotspot as sort of optionality. Be like, I want to split part of this with somebody. Um, so we've built a whole set of mocks. We're going to review those tomorrow. Like we've got a bunch of stuff coming there. That'll start to get built into World, built into this interface, right? So folks can do all of that stuff right there. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Cool.
I did give, I won't go too deep on the sort of like strategy and alpha of all this stuff. Last Thursday on the mobile working group, I gave a full like big picture of what's going on here. So it's in that recording, unless you were on the call. Like, um, it's a little hard to chase down. They're in the mobile working group channel on Discord.
Yeah. Have you guys started doing anything with like a whatever helium.com/updates, and then it just takes the AI transcripts from anything any of you do and shoves it in there so anyone can read that stuff super fast?
Keenan's been doing some pretty cool stuff
Okay.
with those AI updates. They probably need a home. I think he's blasting them out on Twitter. It could be cool to have a little like helium.com/Keenan, just Keenan world where he can put all that stuff out there because he's got a lot of those things working.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. That seems like a pretty simple lift for staying updated and say, hey, let's do this. I think it should be helium.com updates. As much as I
yeah,
love Keenan, um, Keenan should get his own page that's just like, yeah,
Keenan world.
Keenan
Yeah.
World. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
We'll bring that. Like, that's a great idea. I think we could totally do something like that, and it wouldn't be that hard for there to be a little pipeline there, kind of content manage it.
Yeah, Keenan World could probably be like an outline of the city of Toronto or whatever city he lives in. All the Canadian cities are the same, right?
Yeah, we put a tracker on him. You know exactly where he is. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you have any troubles, just go find Keenan.
Let's see. Speaking of trackers, I had some sled news that I didn't put in the description. So let's see. The sled got so the way the whole sled thing worked. This is sled.mediascientific.com, and now this is pretty cool. You can just go to www. Should I fucking write it down here? Yeah,
See
stand
it?
by.
Yeah, I got the www dot
Dot sled
ready.
dot
Dot sled.
WTF.
Wait, wait. I did something wrong. Sled.w. Why is that not working? Failed to open page.
What?
Something's wrong.
Sled.wtf? Fucking, it's working on my side.
Sled.wtf is no go.
Let me go check it. And that should just
I think
take you
you
to,
drop the www. You didn't do your
oh, for
C
Christ's
name.
sake. I got to go back and
Yeah.
fix it. So just sled.wtf, you'll find it. So that'll take you to
Yep.
sled, Jesus, no worky. What do you have to do? You just put sled.wtf and then you don't,
Sled.wtf will hit it for you. Yeah.
I have to go fix it
If
in
your browser resolves it right. I'm looking at it.
the DNS records. I mean, it just goes to sled.mediascientific. So this is for folks who haven't seen it. So the big thing was, and Joey, I know you know this, but for folks who are watching this for the first time, I'd welded together the sled. I put a helium tracker on it, LoRaWAN tracker. And the idea was that you could get on here. You can order the sled to be delivered to your house as long as you live in my neighborhood, which is Normal Heights. So from, I think it's like Mead or Monroe Avenue in the south to the Mountain View on the north, bounded by the 805 and the 15. And the sled would get pushed to your house. And when it got pushed to your house, it would enter into a radius that was generated when you put your address in and notify that person like, hey, here's where to push it next. And it's like this kind of game of telephone, except you're pushing this metal sled. Okay. So the problem was the latest person, and it's kind of fuzzy because she's not responding to my emails, put the wrong address in. So the sled gets delivered to the wrong address, and the address happens to be on kind of the main street in my neighborhood, which is Adams Ave, in front of an apartment complex. So it gets pushed onto the apartment complex, gets pushed onto private property there, and it sits there for a week. And there's a confluence of factors. I was out of town taking care of my mom, so I was like, I'm sure this person will get to it, and I'll eventually get to it if they don't. And the email notifying them that they had a sled either never went out or they didn't get it. I still have to look it up to see if it went out. So there's like a couple things going on. So the sled sits there for 7 days. Someone calls the city and says this is illegal dumping because it's not the nicest looking thing. The city
Sure.
comes
Yeah.
by
Bunch of
and they're
scrap
like,
metal.
hey, it's close enough to the sidewalk, even though it's on public property. It does look like illegal dumping. They picked it up and they took it to the dump. I called the dump and said, hey, you guys took this thing off of private property. Can I have it back? I'm not expecting anything at all. And I just left a message on Monday because, of course, they're not working on Monday. I haven't heard back. I don't expect to hear back. And then one of my buddies is like, hey, don't call them because they'll come after you for tearing up the sidewalk, which I think is semi-ridiculous, but whatever. So that's the latest saga in the sled. So it shows where it was, but not where it is. Because one of the cool things with Helium is you see where not only the GPS report is, but you also see the closest gateway. And while the sled was kind of pinging around my neighborhood, you would see all the gateways in my neighborhood. When the city picked it up, this was kind of the clue I had that it had either been stolen or removed from the neighborhood, is that there was a gateway, I don't know, like 6 miles to the northwest, which doesn't sound like a long distance for Laura, and it isn't but there's plenty of gateways in the neighborhood that would normally hit it. So I was like, huh, it's weird because it's not where it was and it's not pinging from any of the local gateways. And then I put it all together, and my wife Lee was like, hey, you should check the Get It Done app. San Diego's got this app where you can just report shit that's a problem.
Mm.
It's actually one of the coolest things in tech that San Diego has, and they usually fix it within a couple days. So if there's whatever bums leaving out crack fucking paraphernalia, or illegal dumping of sleds, they're pretty quick to fix it.
Hmm.
Which
It's too
means
bad you're not here because we have that app, but they don't tend to fix anything. It's my experience.
yeah. One more reason for me to not live in San Francisco. Although I did apply for what's the thing that everybody wants to do? It's not Y Combinator. It's like Rocket Ship 7, something up in San Francisco where they're like, hey, come up and work with us for 3 weeks and we'll make your startup a reality, blah, blah, blah. So I did that for the MapGrid thing. I'm assuming they're going to ignore that because they're like, this guy is not a coder and we only take technical people, but we'll see.
You never know.
You got to shoot your shot.
Well, that's a rough go. I had I mean, it crossed my mind that it would be a terrible prank to pull on somebody just to push a sled onto their lawn. They're like, what do I do with this?
But it was,
I had
yeah, good.
well, I had a similar experience just as what was it, like a week and a half ago. Woke up on the weekend, I was looking at Amazon, and there's this big banner ad, cantaloupes $1. And I texted my friend. I was like, it would be an amazing prank because we can send our other friend like 40 cantaloupes, and he's not going to know what to do with them. And we tried it, but then it wouldn't let us send to his city. And so I went off to a party, and then I came home, 240 cantaloupes on my deck.
Hell yeah.
So, I've been eating like a cantaloupe a day, giving them to all my neighbors. Yeah, that one backfired on me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, you can make shakes. I mean, cantaloupes are pretty good. You got summer splitters?
they've been doing good. I think I've only had like 2 go bad. So
Okay.
I'm
Well,
eating
let's see.
on the cantaloupe
And if you
front.
get tired of cantaloupes, go to Pasquale's at 8th and Irving and ask for Guy and tell him Derek sent you. I think
Amazing.
that's an open invitation to anyone, not just Joey.
Yeah. Also, does he have a hotspot? Because I can take one over there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the hotspot thing, let's see. Do I have any other news? Oh, so I'll finish up the sled story. So it kicked off this idea like, all right, well, I'm going to build another one. Should I just weld one from scrap? And I've got this, it's like super fucking heavy piece of metal. I don't know why I bought it. Probably because at the time I had a plasma cutter and I was seeing like what thickness I could cut through. And so this is, I don't know, like 3/4 inch plate, pretty thick. And I cut some pieces out of it for something else, but now it's just this weird shape. And I was like, all right, I can build a sled out of the scrap I have in the garage. I'll go talk to Dirk and borrow his welder. And I was like, oh, this really begs the question, like, what should I do? Should I just build the same thing or should I make it like Sledzilla, like some fucking massive sled? And I think I'm going to make it Sledzilla.
You need to go full, what was that? I don't know, any like zombie movie where they armor up some bus or whatever.
Yeah. So this is actually, I think it's kind of cool because I've never done anything like this before, but I got on GPT and I was like, hey, what are because I am worried about the city coming after me for kicking up the sidewalk. Because if you do hit the, sidewalk the wrong way, it'll chunk out a small piece of concrete. It's like, all right, I'll put it on wheels. How do I break it without it being super frictiony and heating up? And I talked to GPT and it's like, oh, just use an alternator. Go get an alternator out of a car, a junkyard.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and put that in there, and then you can power it. And I was like, oh, I've never done that. I've always thought that was really cool. I've got to go find like a junkyard buddy to kind of help me walk through that whole thing. But between GPT and
any motor will do it, right? You invert the load. So it doesn't need to be an alternator. It can be a washing machine motor. It can be a scooter motor, whatever. And if you're pushing against it, it'll induce a current. And as long as there's a load on the other end, it'll break it like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put energy in, it spins. You take energy, it sucks it out. Like
that's how the magic's supposed to work. Yeah. So I thought I'd put a battery on it, and then maybe I've got a Helium mobile sim that's been sitting in a Frotobot forever. And it's like, oh, I could put it on this thing and then get better connectivity to it than LoRaWAN. Although I do love the LoRaWAN stuff because it's low power. But because you're getting power from the push, And now you have lots of power on the sled that opens up other possibilities. And Neil had said, BFG Neil is like, dude, you should put an air quality monitor on this and make this like a air
Mm.
quality pickup thing around normal heights. And then, of course, the rest of the Apple fuckers chimed in. And by the time they were done designing it, it was like a full on government
Battle
snooping
sled.
device. Yeah. And I was like, all right,
Yeah,
well,
right.
maybe not that.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it is like, oh, cool. This is like a fun thing to do. Huh.
No, that totally changes the form factor. You can start playing with wheels and all that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm almost imagining like a Flintstones car, like it just some human powered wheel thing, and you just gotta kind of push it
Maybe,
along.
Joey, this is the thing that gets you down to San Diego. This is the project we've been like looking for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
And we just do like
have
the weekend
welder. I'll
Sledzilla.
come down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll go get the
yeah,
welder today if you're coming down.
yeah. Wait, it's actually not terrible timing. Uh, hmm. I'm getting a tree removed next week, but other than that, I think I've got open weekends. This will be
Okay. Well, let's do it maybe the
yeah.
weekend after this one. This one, I've got a buddy running a 50K out in Pine Valley. There's a run, Noble Canyon run. So I'm going out to do that. But yeah, I would love it if you came down and we spent 2 days and whatever I need to prep to do that, I'll have that. And we just build
Sweet.
Sledzilla.
Yeah, I think I've got motors around here too. Bring
You're
all
just
sorts of
like
toys. Yeah,
carry on motor. Like, what's in your
yeah.
bag, sir? It's
It's
Sledzilla's beating heart.
the old RIP Lime scooter.
Ooh. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
wanted
think
to
it's
do
around
some
here somewhere.
ridiculously big, like steel wheels, like something off an old. Do you know what a lister is? The old generators that are like throughout the British Empire. There's like it's
I
like a
feel like
three.
I've heard that. I gotta like Google it. Yeah.
Yeah, Sledfest 2025. Oh, dude, I got there's just some motor people on here. Motor generation lenses law. Okay, we'll
Yeah,
have to look that
they
up. Let
got
me
all
make a
the
note.
details there.
Lens law. Travis says, "Can we tent it in your yard?" I don't know what that means, but yes, you can do whatever. Travis, you can do whatever you want. I will support it.
He wants to come. He wants to come to your yard and stay in a tent and
Oh,
just like
yes.
crash
Yes.
for
You
it.
don't
Yeah.
need to stay in a tent. We have a house, but yeah, you can do whatever you want. Maybe we'll do another like the remote or the off-grid party. I think 619 came to that one where I was threatening people with the to not touch my dogs. There's like 25 people in my driveway on a misty San Diego morning, talking about off-grids at the very tail end of the helium madness
Oh,
phase.
funny, funny,
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, maybe we set a date and then put it out there and do Sledzilla. That'd be fun to meet all the Apple fuckers.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. That took a turn I didn't expect, but that's rad. Let's also talk a little bit about this computer vision thing, just because I think it's cool. And then I want to
Yeah.
go back and talk about the welcome pack for Helium and some feedback there.
Sure.
So treasure hunt, there should be a link in the description, treasurehunt.paleotreats.com. Oh, maybe I didn't put it there. Oh, I did. We've been running this thing here in Normal Heights in my little neighborhood since August 8th. So August 8th through September 8th. Usually it's a down month, and I think I'll make a video on this because it's actually pretty cool. So usually August is our slowest month. Every month at the end of it, we're like, fuck, we should have just closed down because we would have lost less money. And this year we're like, nope, we're going to turn that thing around. We're going to kick it in the dick and we're going to bring everybody with us. And so we signed up these 40 other businesses and said, hey, we'll put you guys on a map. We'll get people to come into your store. You give them a gold star. You can sell them whatever you want. There's no purchase required, but this at least gets people in your store. All these businesses signed up $25 to sign up and a $25 gift certificate. So for $50 for the business, they were in. And we said, hey, we'll do all the marketing stuff. Like you guys can help and it will make it better, but we'll provide the baseline of it. So far, it appears to have been super successful anecdotally. So we talked to a couple businesses and they're like, dude, we've had more signups and more people in here than we've ever had before. This is awesome. We want to do another one. I know for Paleo Treats, we're up 20% year on year for August sales. So that's a
Wow.
nice boost for us. Nice lift.
Do you have one of those things? Like I saw in your Twitter thing,
Oh,
uh,
fuck. I don't think I have a
those posters
treasure.
were cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a local dude, Andy at Torque, who is a coffee guy, Torque Coffee, and he saw a poster at some meetup that one of our employees went to, and he's like, dude, this paper quality is amazing. Like, I'm a paper nerd and the paper quality is awesome. I was like, oh, I had no idea. We just ordered what was good from our favorite local printers.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool to do that. But the problem is if you hand out and I was saying we handed out 800 maps, but Lee was saying we've handed out 1,200 maps, is you think about what does it take to count the stars on a map?
Hmm.
Because the person turns the map in at the end of the treasure hunt, they turn it into paleo treats. There's only 4 of us, and we've got to count those stars and put them in. So it's like, oh, well, I can just use Cursor to build a computer vision thing that reads the map, the stars in the map, counts all of them, assigns them to a business, and then I can post a bunch of stats on like, hey, this business got 70 stars. It got more stars than anyone else. Like more people went and visited this business. And here's the total amount of stars collected, and every star is a visit to a business. So here's what we did for Adams Ave. Like this whole thing, it took me 2 weeks. I finished it last night at like 8:15 p.m. After working like full days for a long time. I was so fucking pumped with it. It's the model reports it as 99.7% accurate. But then if you look at it, that's just the average. And it says 70% of the time, it's 100% accurate. So it's pretty good, but it's not perfect.
Right.
But I was using it yesterday, and there's a part. So the workflow is the person comes in, they put their map under the camera, they type in their name, email, and or Instagram, and the number of, we have these little foamy starbies that are worth 10 stars each. The number of starbies they collected, and the starbies are totally at the discretion of the business. And then it progresses to the next page, says like, put your map in here, center it in the frame, take a picture, takes a picture. That runs the computer vision on Monstra. So there's a $68 Chromebook that I bought off Amazon used at the shop that I wiped and then said, hey, I basically want to make this, I don't think you can say this word, but a slave of Monstra. And then Monstra runs all of the heavy lifting. So all the computer vision, all the whatever in the back. And the Chromebook just hosts a local app that does all that stuff. I think I'm using all these words right here.
Yeah, I'm tracking you. Like you just need something to interface with the server back home, basically.
Yep.
Right? Yep.
Yep. So it gets the picture, it sends it back to Monstra. Monstra runs the model on it, says like, here are the star detections, and then puts a green box around every star. So the person can be like, oh, you missed a star here, or this star is wrong. So they update the detections or confirm or deny the detections. Then they flip it over, take a picture of the back, do the same thing, and then they get a congratulations. Here's your total number of stars, etc. Here's all the stars that have been submitted so far, so they have an idea of their odds, etc., etc. And then the last cool thing that I think is super cool is every time they do that, I think it's actually every 20 times that a new page gets submitted, the model retrains itself and says, oh, you've added all these new images. Cause I only had like 13 like test maps that I did. And I tried to make them fucked up, but we're going to get, who knows how many we'll get. Like if it's anything less than 400, this will be a complete waste of my time as far as like time counting versus whatever. Is it like Sex Panther 80% of the 60% of the time? Yeah, it is like Sex Panther, Jerry. Maybe I should have called this thing Sex Panther.
It's the perfect like San Diego like tie in there.
Yeah. The Sex Panther system. But I thought it was super cool to say, hey, if we're going to get so many maps in, to train them. And then the thing I don't have working perfectly yet, because it's been really difficult for me, is the way the treasure map is set up is there's just a business with a silhouette of a star next to it. And so as a human, you can look and see like if someone put a star in that silhouette, or if they put it kind of on the same line as the business, you would assume that that is the business that collected multiple stars for multiple visits. But for a computer, there's something called homography, and there's all kinds of fucking crazy shit where it has to say like, hey, let me map out a grid of this image and see where the stars are, because it doesn't see things the same way we do.
You just recreated standardized testing. So basically, you got to fill in with the pencil and the perfect little.
Yeah. So I've had a fun time doing something that my mom sent me this thing yesterday. Someone in the New York Times was saying that AI is overhyped and scaling won't work, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like this total bullshit. I was like, dude, I don't think this guy gets it. Like right now, AI is not about super intelligence doing everything for you. It's this giant unlock for anyone who wants to articulate their ideas to turn them into reality in a way that you like. There's no fucking way, no realistic way that I would have done computer vision without going back to school, which is years.
No, I mean, I'll admit I was kind of dubious when you built this like $4,000 machine or whatever this thing is, Monstra.
8,000.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, not the best decision I made, but in my procession of failures, it's one of the least fails.
I mean, in hindsight now, I think it's an awesome investment. Talk about going back to school for something, you would have spent that in tuition, right? Like
Yeah.
I always loved if I fuck up something, I was like, well, what would it have cost me if I had learned this lesson in a classroom, right?
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
like,
a good way to
okay,
think of it.
$500, like whatever, I can eat it, right? Um, but no, it was just like I've been playing around with AI. We've talked about this a bunch. I use it in the cloud. I pay OpenAI for it, but you've managed to take this thing locally and push it in directions I think that otherwise wouldn't have been foreseen. Like you're
Yeah.
literally using it as a backend for a service you're running remotely. You're doing all of the training. You're building the models. Like that's just like another level. That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty rad, yeah. And we haven't, I don't think we've talked about the map grid thing yet. I'll have to think about, because that thing's not fully fleshed out, and I may end up using that domain for another piece. But that was another part. Like, I think there's, so having Monstra, and I would say most of the credit for Monstra goes to this guy Vortal. Um, Fuck, I
Yeah.
think I know what his real name is, but I always call him Vortal. Where we were talking about this a year or so ago, and he's like, "Oh, you should build a." I think someone said like, if I remember right, they just posted a picture of a GPU on Amazon. They're like, "Wow, GPUs are cheap." And I was like, "Oh, do I just buy that and plug it in and it works?" And everyone laughed. They're like, "No, no, no! Like, you got to plug the GPU into a thing and build a whole computer around." I was like, "All right, I'll try that out." And between Vortal and GPT at the time, um, I built this fucking giant machine that now sits on the floor. It used to sit on the desk. That's 3 GPUs and a Threadripper and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I had this idea at the time that I could just like kind of wave a magic wand and I would have my own personal AI. And that is completely not true. Like, didn't work out at all. That was a total failed um, thought line or whatever that would be called. But just having it on site and continually experimenting with it, and then having Cursor as well. So, like, you have access to all the foundation models with Cursor, but then I can build a model and run it locally and train it. Like, I trained one of the failed attempts in this computer vision thing. I was like, oh, to me, it makes sense that I take a screenshot of like 100 stars. So I take the map, I put all the gold stars in the map, I screenshot just the stars so that this
Mm.
thing will know what a star looks like, and then I feed it in there. And fucking Cursor and GPT, because I always go back and forth between those two, they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And I train it. It takes 24 hours to fucking train it. So that monster's running 24 hours. And at the end, I'm like, I'm super excited. I'm like, oh, it finished the training. It finished the 60 epochs. They each took 15 minutes or whatever it was. Like, fuck, this is going to be awesome. And it was like 2% accurate. I'm like, what happened? And of course, whichever one it was, Cursor GPT is like, oh, you idiot. You got to train it on the whole image. Like, how did you not know that? You can't train it on just the star. You have to give it the entire image and then tell us what a star looks like. So
Hmm.
there's stuff there where you're like, okay, I didn't understand how that part of the world worked. Now I have a better understanding, and I couldn't have done that for free at the cost of power without Monstra. So yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
sorry, went off on
Similar
a tirade
vein to
there.
this AI story.
Yeah.
I've had this thing that's sort of in the back of my head. So my partner's been learning Spanish with Duolingo, right?
Qué bueno.
And yeah, uh, ¿Quieres pan? Me gusta pan, right? Like it's the most awkward way to learn Spanish.
Really?
And I think I don't know how much exposure you've had to Spanish, but it's like you need immersion. You need immersion in a language in order to sort of grok it. And I think this, for me, listening to her trying to learn this thing, reminds me of how much I hated Spanish class in high school. And I just didn't get it. Like it just didn't stick
Yeah.
until I spent a summer in Mexico. And then I was like, I can speak some Spanish. Like
Mm.
I'll hang out at parties and I'll
Puedo
talk to
hablar
people and like,
español. Hola,
right.
amigo.
Yeah, it's just like it's awkward and terrible and like I had this realization. OpenAI just released their real-time voice thing
Yeah.
API.
Yep.
It's like a week ago or something. They built some demo thing. You could just like load it on your phone and have a conversation with an AI. And it was like completely blank slate, do whatever you want with a voice.
Yep.
I was like, I can build Duolingo
I know kung
in
fu.
like right, like I can build something better than this thing in a weekend. Like it's pretty insane, and I probably will do it because she's paying for Duolingo and it kind of sucks.
God, I
And
would
you
think it would be
you could
way
very much
better, huh?
Yeah.
No.
It's the AI voice, like it's cool from a conceptual thing. Like you can have a chat with this AI bot, but it is the most monotone, slow, weird conversations. It's like talking about jackets and all this other stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you're going to Mexico, you're never going to ask somebody for a jacket, right? Like, that's not that's
You go to
not the
Germany,
usual like
meine Jacke.
or you go to Spain, right?
Yeah.
Like get like so like I have this like hypothesis that a lot of this language education is built, you know, especially in the Spanish realm, is built on the experiences of Spain and not in Mexico. Like you have a very different conversation with one person versus another.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why I can't talk to anyone when I'm in Spain. Like it's just that it's basically a different language to me. They'll look
España.
at me like an
Las
idiot.
aves están afuera la
Um,
lluvia. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Fucking
Um,
Spaniards.
so anyway, like that's this thing that I'll probably end up just
Building.
basically, I don't know, rage coding. Like it's like
I like that
uh,
better than vibe
yeah,
coding. I feel embarrassed
yeah,
now when I'm like, oh, I vibe coded that, but I'm losing that because it's like, dude, I fucking did this thing that you couldn't do a year ago, and as frustrating as it seems to me, it's like it's still like I built a goddamn thing that works, and someone would look at the code and be like, oh, this is ugly and full of cruft and whatever. Like, it fucking works. You walk up to it, you type your name in, you use this fucking fancy computer, like the shit works.
yeah. Might
You know,
even just
someone wants
asking
you to
for a demo.
document the
Like
journey.
it might literally be as like a full on just like 20-minute thing. Like I think you can just plain English write the prompt for that OpenAI model, fork the demo, and that would be the application. I think that's basically it.
Yeah, there's the concept of the long hair dictionary, which is the best way to learn a language. Is you go to another country and get a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever your thing is,
Right.
and that's how you learn the language. Which is this like a similar piece here. And I had similar experience to you. I went down to Montevideo in Uruguay in like 2000 with Lee and spent 2 months in an intensive Spanish course. And it's like, oh yeah, that's how you learn Spanish. And
Mm-hmm.
the 3 years of German and 2 years of Spanish and whatever that in high school were completely useless.
Yeah. For me, it was a lot of hanging out late at night and
Yeah.
you know
The
just
drunker you
being
get, the better you
around
speak a
and like
language, I found. But there are also
the
side
unfortunate
effects.
thing is that I can usually like it doesn't work when I'm sober. It's like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
all
Well,
goes.
I,
It's
I mean, I think
conditional.
there's a lot to do there with inhibitions about how you sound, and you just lose those. So you're like, oh, I'll just
Oh,
throw
for
this
sure.
out there.
Yeah.
Donde está la biblioteca, George Hyman.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Spanish, but that's Derek's thing. Yeah, I think the language stuff is cool. So I'll put this back at you. I had this idea. I put my mom on. So I went out to my mom's. She broke her arm for the second time in a year from falling. She's finally accepting that at 81, she possibly might be a trip hazard, maybe. Although she thinks this is so awesome. She thinks that she fell because she had the wrong shoes on. I fucking love my mom. She is awesome.
Just
But I think
make sure
she's
her Crocs are in off-road mode and she's good
yeah,
to go. Yeah.
God bless her. So I went out there and I think she's like most older people, is she doesn't understand, despite being super smart and brilliant, she actually invented whatever. I'm proud of my mom, just like everyone's proud of their mom. Um, she invented a pretty important drug. Is she doesn't understand a lot of this stuff. And I went out and I was like, how come you have this Wi-Fi, like two Wi-Fis? And she's like, oh, Verizon sold me this thing when I bought my phone that gives me Wi-Fi in my house. And I also have it from, I don't know, like some Cox subsidiary. I was like, Mom, you're paying for two internets. It's like an extra $130 a month that you don't need to pay. And she's like, oh, can you fix that? So I went through and canceled the Verizon thing. And then I just switched. I'm like, hey, this is crazy and it's crypto, but it'll actually be pretty cool. And what makes a difference to you is it's $20 a month instead of 120. We're going
Mm-hmm.
to switch you on to Helium. And she's like, okay, I'll do that. Her problem there was she has a sister in Canada. She's like, can I call my sister internationally in Canada with Helium? And I said, I'm reading the terms conditions and it just says you may be able to. And she hasn't been able to dial her sister and the call goes through yet. So I told her to use
Oh,
WhatsApp.
huh.
Um,
I'll go harass the team about that. I'm not.
okay.
If I feel like that should. I feel like you should be able to call anyone. I would think, but I also don't work on the sub side, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that would be great. And she has like tech problems. If there is a problem with technology, it will immediately happen to her. So I
Hmm.
get her on Helium. I get her off the two internet plans, and then she was paying for Microsoft twice. So I get her off that. So I cleaned up all of this shit there for her. And I was like, dude, there's a business in going around and just helping old people clean up their tech. It's like, oh, here's how to manage your passwords. Here's how to get rid of all these
Yeah.
extra stupid subscriptions. Put a tracker on her. Yeah, I should put a tracker. I asked her actually if she wanted a tracker, and she's like, let me see it. And then she said no.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's companies make it like I don't know. I start thinking about this stuff and I just get mad. Like Comcast and
Yeah.
like they just change your rates and they add stuff and it's like I didn't want to pay for a box and they're like, well, you have to pay for the box and if you don't want to pay for the box, you have to pay us also. It's like what?
Yeah. No,
Like,
it's a nonstop
uh,
shit show.
yeah, yeah.
So I had this idea because I'd been working on something else for Media Scientific that was like an agent helping people with LoRaWAN and IoT. I was like, could I build an agent for my mom and probably just use OpenAI, although I could use Monstra. Although what I found is like for really difficult stuff, Monstra is not even close. I mean, it's three 4070s. It's not 1,000 H100s. Um, but could I build something for mom where I said, hey, here's her address. You know, she lives at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. She has Cox Wi-Fi. Her Wi-Fi SSID is, you know, mom whatever.com or whatever her, that's it. Like, here's all the stuff about her. She has the Helium mobile plan. Here's what Helium mobile is. She has an iPhone, whatever number she has, 12, who fucking knows. And like build this library of stuff about my mom and then build a chat just for her. Because one question she had was she's like, hey, I'm going to visit my sister in Canada in whatever, a month. What should I do? Like, will Helium work? I'm like, yeah, it'll be expensive, but it'll work. What I would recommend you do instead is use an eSIM. And she's like, oh, I've used that before, but it's always like it complicated. I'm like, yeah, I found it complicated as well. But I bet if I built this custom chat agent for mom and said, hey, she's going to get an eSaily or whatever the thing is in Canada, Keenan, help me out here, eSIM. Here's her phone. Can you build like a PDF to walk her through what she should do? Like when you land in, I don't know where she's going, Toronto. That's the only Canadian city I know. I'm fucking with you, Keenan. Whatever, Quebec, Vancouver, on whatever it is. What should she do for her phone? And I thought like, oh, this is kind of a cool thing because I could build a custom AI for every one of the the old people in my life and say like, here's my dad, here's his phone, here's where he lives, here's his address, here's his Wi-Fi thing. And some of it is PII personal information, so I'm sure they will be terrified of it. But at the same time, it's like that thing could be super helpful to them. And instead of them calling me and then I have to get on ChatGPT and like, all right, well, I got an iPhone 11 here and Microsoft 365 and blah, blah. Can you figure this out? Like they could just do it themselves.
Yeah.
Similar to your Spanish language thing, which is what got me, which is what made me bring it up.
Got the gears turning. Yeah. No, it's like there's just it's getting so much better so quickly. And it like these things really are helpful at this point. And I think it's to the point I think what caught my attention the other day is I was doing some Excel stuff and I was like, convert these things to percentages. And it's like the average person
Done.
would just be like, well, it's like it's a bunch of numbers, 100 to 1, right? And the average person would say like, oh, you go to the menu bar and you just collect percentages. But what happens if you do that is it's now going to say like 10,000% because it's 100 times, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was smart enough to know like, well, this would be normally the thing you do, but if you do this, it's going to say 10,000%. You can take your previous algorithm and or you know whatever, and then just divide by 100, and that'll make it a scale of 0 to 1. Then it'll, so it took the like basic answer, thought ahead, understood what was going to happen,
Yep.
and then gave you the like the direct thing. And that's something that like if you asked almost anybody that wasn't like just spending every single hour of their day in Excel, like they wouldn't have had that answer, which is actually,
Yep.
that's pretty cool. That level of nuance in a response.
Yeah. No, it's fucking amazing what it can do. Sorry, the fan blowing in. What was cool air in the morning is now turning into warmer air here in San Diego.
Oh yeah, we had a couple hot days. It's actually reasonable today, I think.
No, it's not reasonable here yet.
High of 70. Can't complain.
That's pretty good. So I was thinking about this. Is I think here's my controversial take: is people in San Diego are actually weather tougher than anywhere else because most of us don't live with AC. And
Hmm.
so if you're in Indiana, where my mom is, I don't know what it was. It was nice when I was there, and fuck, she lives next to a river, and so she's like 100 feet from the river, so I got to go out and just swim in the river every day. Every day, that was
Nice.
super nice. But she lives in air conditioning. Everybody there lives in air conditioning. So you walk out of your air conditioning house, you get into your air conditioned car that's in your air conditioned garage, you turn on the AC, you drive to your thing, you walk maybe 10 feet to the air conditioned ice cream shop or wherever you're going. Like you're never really exposed to the weather. Where
Mm.
here, I mean, it's like, I don't know, 78, 82 at night in the house, and you're trying to go to sleep. Not that big of a deal, but also like in the winter, it's 48 and which I think is great for sleeping weather, but you get up and you're like, oh, I got to put some clothes on. I think
Mhm.
it makes you weather tougher because you're not living at 72 perfect all the time.
Yeah. I mean, Bay Area, we don't have air conditioning here, and
Yeah.
most people don't. Yeah. And yeah, same experiences. We had a couple hot days, and that heat just sticks around at night, and you're gonna have the fan going.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. 619 OTA. If you put too much information out there and it's on a plain text file. No, like I was thinking for this, they could just all be Cloudflare secrets. And I don't think I'd put
Mhm.
anything on there that's like super secret. Like what model iPhone she has is okay. Her Wi-Fi password, probably not okay. An address, I feel like that's okay. Like if you did some digging, I'm sure you could find the address of anyone. So I think that's like pretty close to okay. Um, yeah, heat, humidity, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Humidity is not fun.
Did you see 619's hotspot in Arizona that he deployed in this fucking ridiculous heat?
I've seen some pictures of his stuff. I don't know if it was the Arizona one.
No, he doesn't take pictures of himself because he'd just be this like hot, sweaty mess. Like here's a picture of a waterfall with a human behind it.
Yeah. Well, and I know these end up deep in the mountains and stuff too, so I can only imagine that was a pretty serious trek.
Yeah, yeah. There's some super fun stuff out there. Did someone say dryer is done? Did something beep here?
That was
That
me.
was
I think
yours.
you heard my that was the washing machine.
I did hear a beep. Okay, I was like, "Hot."
Yeah.
The washing machine is on the other side of the palatial estate here.
Yeah. Do we have
Beep.
the same LG that's yeah, talking to us?
Probably. It beeps until you come to it. I'm like, listen, you can beep once when you're done. I don't need a fucking beep every 30 seconds.
Oh, mine fortunately doesn't do that. And I've got it plugged into home bridge.
Okay.
Um, so I can do like notifications and whatever,
Huh.
but I don't because it's fine. I don't need to
Oh,
be pinged.
I got another funny thing. I think this is funny because like literally a crypto consultant is I think what I write on the tax returns. I've never I might have. I've never mined Bitcoin. I think I stood
Mhm.
up a node once and let it run for a week and it synced and then I was like, oh, whatever. And I repurposed that thing for something. Someone in
Mhm.
Discord today was like, hey, you should buy this BitAxe for $100. It's like buying
Mhm.
a lottery ticket and it mines Bitcoin. I'm like, I've been meaning to mine Bitcoin for forever. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to get into like a 60,000 rig setup and take that risk, but this thing's $100. So I bought it. So it'll be here in whatever, a week or two.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
have no idea what this thing does other than I plug it in and it may or may not, more likely may not make me monkey bucks. Do you know anything about this?
It won't make you monkey bucks, but it is fun and you'll learn some stuff. Um, yeah, so I had never mined Bitcoin and I think back, geez, in the early 2000s, I probably downloaded the client and never set it up. You kick yourself for something
Yep.
every now and then, right? Um,
Travis told me I'm going to hit
uh,
the lotto. So monkey
yeah,
bucks are coming.
it
100%.
ain't happening. Anyway, um, they're cool. So it's just, you see these ant miners, right? It's a big
Yep.
old box of ASICs. So basically what they do is they take those, pull all the chips out, or they just get raw chips, right? Um, and then they do a single one of those. So you run a little client around a single ASIC or four if the Q quad one or whatever.
I got whatever
Um,
the simple thing is.
It's an ESP
32.
32 sitting
Yeah.
on the top of there. Runs a little web client. You do all the config. Software is super clean, super nice. The hardware developer Scott is super active on Twitter.
Okay.
Good dude. I pinged him about Helium the other day, and he's like, I don't like it because you have to be all permission. And I was like, oh, you can actually you can onboard whatever you want. He's like, huh, I don't know. Love to get
Oh,
him a hotspot, get people think. In my opinion, anyone that's running a BitAx should be running a Helium hotspot also. It's like if you're going to touch crypto and play around with it, you can run the lotto thing and you can also get a consistent emission of tokens through Helium. Like, why not do both? Um, they, they're very similar platforms in that way. Um, anyway, they're a lot of fun.
yeah.
I ran it at my house for a little bit. I also did this guy, which will literally never ever mine anything. It's just I think this is an 8266. No, it's a 30 ESP32. But it's got a client. Oh, I can't plug it in unless I unplug my microphone. Um, does the same job,
Huh.
but at a much lower hash rate. Uh,
Yeah,
so
this is
yeah,
like
you
one
have
TH.
some fun with
What
it.
I'm assuming that means tera something.
Terahashes, yeah.
Yeah. Very fancy.
So yeah, I ran mine at my house for a little while, and then I gave it to a friend of mine who has solar, and I was like, if it mines something, we'll split it, whatever.
I'm gonna make
Uh,
so much money.
yeah,
You're gonna see me like the show is gone. I made my 90
yeah.
bitcoins.
You know who knows a lot about this is Suburban Crypto, and I think he runs a couple of these things, and you typically point it to a particular pool, and it'll do the mining, and it'll sort of like get its information to mine against from that. Um, there's some other ones that'll like multi-mine, so you
Hmm.
can like earn consistently from particular protocols while still mining Bitcoin. I don't quite know the nuance there, but it's good stuff.
I just wanted one. I wanted a lot of ticket. I was like, all right, I'll put it in there. I've never done this thing. It's funny
Yeah,
because the
yeah, totally.
and I think maybe we set up a pool.
Hey, you could run that on Monstra. You a bunch of people mine against it. You can take a little like 2% if you win something.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I could. Let's see who else is in here. See if I can miss. Oh, I was gonna put this up here. Like this is the single most hazardous comment to my time that consistently dings me. Is you could technically build it yourself. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I realized, like, yeah, but it's going to cost me 90 hours, or I could spend $90 and I'm worth more than $1 an hour.
Yep.
If you're
But it
confident, I'm
sure is
confident in
fun.
everything is the problem.
Yep.
So that's the haps, Joey. I think we're close to the end of
Yeah,
the
man.
hour. Fucking A, dude.
Sounds good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to say on the welcome packs,
Oh, yeah.
I set those two up. We talked about this on the call. It was for the other side. It was easy to do, but the end result was confusing where they're like, hey, where do I see my thing? I'm like, oh, I think you have to download a wallet or you have to bookmark this thing or whatever. And I talked to Noah about it. He's like, oh yeah, they just bookmarked this thing. And I mean, I think it's well understood, like this is not the final piece, but
Yep.
I just thought like, dude, I'm not going to deploy anymore with the welcome pack until it's a much better experience for the other side. Because the people I've deployed out, like I've got a relationship with them. They understand that this is like crazy crypto stuff. But for newer people, it'd be like, all right, not only do I have to convince you that crypto's okay and this thing works, but I also have to make it like explain why it's still pretty hard to do.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you a little sneak peek here. We'll wrap this with some alpha if I can find a
Oh,
good
cool.
screenshot to
How do I do your screen? Fuck.
get in here.
We've done this before and I like share the wrong
Well,
thing.
I haven't shared it yet, but
Okay.
holy moly, designer's been cranking. Let's go. Uh, yeah, that's not what we're shipping.
While you do that, I'll
Eh,
talk to Derek here. Basically, you don't increase witness. The outdoor hotspot pointing at the local mall, unless it's close, like within 300 feet, and the closer the better. I think you might be confusing outdoor IoT hotspots and outdoor mobile hotspots. I forget which one you have. If this is a mobile hotspot pointing at the mall, you just need to get it closer to the mall. If it's an outdoor IoT hotspot, none of this stuff applies. So maybe that's helpful.
All right.
What
This
do you got,
isn't
Joey?
quite what I wanted to share, but dual window. This some of
Okay.
this is stuff that we've already shipped.
This thing
So
here,
this
how do
should
I
look
fucking share this thing?
familiar.
Screen share this one.
Yeah, I'll make it a little
Oh, fuck.
1690 there.
Nope, I'm breaking something. I don't know. How do I get this goddamn thing in here? Because I can see. Oh, nope, that's not it. We may be stuck with my my inability to share your screen share. Guest. Nope, that's not it. Derek, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Fuck. Camlink is going to watch this and be like, dude, this guy is an idiot. Nope, that's not. I don't even know how to turn this thing off now. Fuck.
Everyone watching is like, show me this thing.
Yeah, I'll look at him and guess and be like, damn, Joey, that looks
Yeah.
awesome. I can't wait to share
This
that.
is this alpha is on the. You just describe what you see like an AI.
Let me see if I can zoom in. All right, mobile hotspots. Oh, cool. So you
You
can
got
see what
something?
hotspots are online. What spots? What's the yellow mean?
This is like onboarding states and things. So the designer is playing around with some stuff, and this is an
Okay.
earlier version of this. This is loosely what we based what we shipped off. What we shipped we based off of this. I don't know what to say there.
Okay.
So there is the wallet view. You can see your mobile hotspots. So like this is what that deployer from or the partner, as we're calling them,
Okay.
in your welcome pack would log in and see. So from that URL, they'd get in there and they'd see something like this. They would be able to see all of the tokens that have been emitted to them, things like that. Teague says, "Are you screen sharing?" So.
Am I screen sharing? No. So no. Basically, I'm fucking everything up right now, Travis, trying to share Joey's screen that he's sharing with me. Assigned to placeholder. Guest one. Ooh, I think I might be able to do it. There we go. All right, Joey, your screen is live, so don't show anything that you don't want people to see.
Okay. Well, now we're gonna get back into my little safety zone here.
Okay, I think this is it.
We're in there? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, virtual alpha time for 2 more minutes here. Anyway, you get somebody onboarded, you want them to have that good experience, right? You want them to understand what they just took part in.
Yep.
So once they do that, that link would drop them in to something like this. So they would see their hotspot, they'd see where it is. They would also see the percentage that you've split with them. So they understand they're getting 20% or 50% or 80% or whatever you set that thing up as. All of the rewards claiming is going to happen automatically because that's already plugged into TukTuk.
Yep.
So they can see what all of their tokens are going to be. They can swap those if they want
Oh,
to
cool.
right in the application. They can off ramp it directly into their bank account if that's what they want to do. They can set that. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that we're playing around with there. So
Nice. And I see this
yes,
thing at the top:
while
mobile
that
hotspots, IoT hotspots, fleet performance, balance. All right, cool. Super cool.
Yep. So all of these tabs are actually live right now, just without the logged in state. So you can go plug a wallet address as we opened up with. You can plug that into World and you can start playing around with these tools. This is what will evolve into that welcome pack, like partner deployer state. And then the alpha, the more alpha part of
Dang,
this is
look at all
that,
those screens you've got on your screen.
oh, Jesus Christ. It's like,
Jesus
it
Christmas,
goes deep.
Joey.
This isn't even all the pages. But soon we will be able to do hotspot deployment from web. So this is what the designer and I are going to go through some of this stuff tomorrow.
Yep.
So this is by no means final, but to give you a sense of what's going on there, like we want to be able to handle all those reward splits with like a nicer
Oh, that's
UI,
cool.
like whatever that ends up looking like, right?
Right, and you can add a new person and give them a slider on that. Okay, do the sliders all? I'm assuming the sliders all automatically balanced to whatever it is.
It depends on, yeah, there's a lot of thinking around sliders right now.
There's some
So
magic there, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Cool,
Holy moly, he's really pushing it to the edges there. Um, so yeah,
badass, dude.
that's a little sneak peeky.
I like it.
Stop
I
sharing.
like it.
Uh,
How do I get rid of that fucking
yeah.
thing?
So hopefully it creates a cleaner whole experience. I gotta you know get this stuff buttoned up and get it presented to the team. We'll get building.
Super cool. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what I did here, but I broke something, and now I have no
yeah.
idea how to get out of this goddamn thing.
It's a
So
good time to just abort.
there we go.
Pick it
All
up
right.
again in a week.
And
Yeah.
with that, we're done. Thanks, fellas.
All right.
Good to see you, Joey. Later.
Take it easy.